I'm getting excited just sitting here, just listening to you all talk about, the books that you created. So I wanted you to share next what inspired you to start writing culturally relevant text.
I always kind of describe the entire process of it as a complete relearning, and it's something that I'm finding now, not only having worked on timelines from Black history, but having worked on timelines of everyone and working on a new book with DK called The Big Black History Book, that
Mhm.
the whole experience for me is a complete relearning. Even though I consider myself kind of, I don't know, very, I guess, very well read and very kind of well rounded in terms of knowing about Black history, there was so much that I didn't even know. I didn't know that, I guess, the person who created the carbon filament, which all of us use in our light bulbs, was a Black
Right.
man. So I was like, the way we live in this world is, and then and all the kind of resources that we use are because of Black people. To kind of diminish that or to forget about that is really to discredit um, ourselves as a community. So a lot of
Mhm.
the experience was, yeah, it brought out a lot of the passion in me. I already had the passion there. I just didn't think I'd ever have the opportunity to have it brought to me, which is a blessing. And I think just the entire process of learning, I guess, the nuances and the complexities, and also just like the hidden gems about our experiences, like the fact
Right.
that Maya Angelou was a bus conductor at one point, and the fact that like Oprah kind of started later on in life in TV, like all these kind of these nuances of finding out about the experiences, compared to just like hearing, I guess, the like Lisa said, the just like the repeated stories about the same people, or just hearing about Black history in the vortex of
Mhm.
the civil rights movement and slavery, when we have always been so much more than that experience of what essentially is European intervention. It's very important for us to recognize that we had a vast history and vast cultures and traditions beyond
Mhm.
that, whilst also recognizing that as a kind of seminal moment in where we are now, as a
Mhm.
Black community. So yeah, I think the opportunity coming to me was, yeah, it was a fantastic opportunity, and one that I'm now kind of, yeah, I refuse to let go of. I'm just proceeding with hopefully making more and more like this. So yeah.
That sounds great. Okay. All right. I'd like to hear from Cheryl now.
Well, my inspiration is the same as Mireille's and Lisa's. It's really curiosity
Mm-hmm.
and thinking back to my days as really as a third grader in Mount Hermon Elementary School
Mm-hmm.
in Portsmouth, Virginia. Shout out to my hometown. Um, it's so uh, interesting that as a third grader, my favorite time of the year was February, when we had what was then called Negro History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up in the South in schools that were segregated, this was Jim Crow, this was in the 50s, we did celebrate in our Black schools Negro History Week. And that was a time when everybody just went all out. Every teacher had a bulletin board. There were heroes of Black history. There was Carter G. Woodson. There's Mary McLeod Bethune, and people that I had never heard of. They had a bulletin board contest. There was an essay contest. Um, and it was a rich period of time. I wanted that to be all year round. But, you know, they just pulled out the posters during this one week and then they took them down and that was it. So as an adult, and as a college student, I had opportunity to go to a college in the Midwest where there was a vast collection of materials on African American history and
Mm-hmm.
culture, and I just stayed hours and hours in the stack. So my inspiration was capturing those stories, those little known histories, those gems that Mireille talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and learning more about these people.